Hey everybody, Melissa here. Wanted to cover some, shall we call them, oddities surrounding, sadly, this latest school shooting. Uh, I think before I continue, I need to do something about my cat that is in my hibiscus that just bloomed. This is the one where, let's see. Yeah, right there. Chloe. I don't know if you can see her. Chloe, come on, let's get out of Mama's plant. Chloe. Chloe, you know you're not allowed in there. Ah, you can see how obedient she is, right? I don't know. I hope that this showed it. I'm trying to see if it showed the bloom. There. There's that bloom. And there's Chloe still in there. Okay, so when we were in Texas, on one of our trips where we go to help some elderly people that will call us. They're very sad. A lot of times they need added help. And so we'll go and we'll spend multiple days out there. And we came upon a place once that had, when we took them out, because their facility wouldn't let them go out. So we took them out and we went to this restaurant. And the gardener there, the garden at this place was beautiful. And he had gorgeous hibiscus plants. And he overheard me saying something about, outside our foliage would get glossy and gorgeous and wonderful, but we didn't always get blooms. The blooms were like not consistent off and on. And so he was great. He's like, he came up and started talking. You need to let it completely dry out, he said, and then just water the pee out of it, that word that I won't say. But you know what I'm saying. And he was, you know what? He was spot on. I let that thing dry. And so every time I'm doing it, someone in the family will be like, are you watering the out of it? And I'm like, yes, I am. So they love that. And the fact that my potatoes that I planted last year, we'll get into this. It's hard to cover some of this, right? So maybe subconsciously I'm like, putting it off a little bit. But right now, my batch of potatoes from last year after I harvested, I had a ton of little ones that I'm going to be planting as seed potatoes this year. And you'll want to do just 1 to 2 per pot, not many more. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a batch of seed potatoes. So I got a whole bunch. They are, I wish I could go get them and show them to you, but I'll save that for my home channel. They are chitting away. And my family loves that when I talk about it, the chitting potatoes in the cupboard. And they're like, I don't know if I want a chitting potato. So it's probably getting old hat to them now, but chitting for those who who don't do potatoes or grow potatoes. They get these chits on them, and then you'll want to take some of them off because too many of them won't necessarily produce quite as big of a potato. Okay, so this is not a gardening channel, but before I forget, I've probably shown you I know I've shown it on my home channel because I love it. There's my fountain. I was doing an outdoor one last year and the electric completely shot outdoors, not indoors. So I was like, okay, we are going to pivot and shift, and I am going to create this for the inside. And I figured out how to do it and even plant some foliage from what I call the Walmart garden graveyard. There's that period of time, which is pretty lengthy at my Walmart, where you will see these flowers in the back. And like, I always feel drawn to them because they're clearancing them out. And I asked this one guy that I'm friends with, his name is Leonard, and he's always yelling, I love my job. He takes care of his wife. His wife has diabetes. So if you think about it, pray for him, because I told him, I am commanding healing for your wife. But those plants that are in there right now, they are like, you can see they're a vining plant, and look how well they're doing. They looked so sad. They were from the graveyard when I planted them, but now look how well they're doing. And honestly, that tall container is not even filled with dirt. it's part way with hay that I had grown potatoes in before and saved. So that's a tip, right? You don't want it to be too heavy. And the pot was from Aldi's a long time ago. It's the same pot. I know you can't see, but I used to do videos, and I think I showed those once. Went around and showed those pots where I repotted the evergreen trees, and one of them's leaning, so it needs to be staked. And I feel like this is deja vu. And I know why, because I may have said this on here before. I have other platforms and channels, so I'm not sure. So now I'll know I don't need to say it here again. But the same type of pot, they're nice and good size, they're pretty large, but now they look almost medium because our trees have gotten larger. But okay, enough of that. My goodness. I know. Now I just gave those people, the haters, the fuel again because they're like, you're like this. You're all just stop the chit chat and get to the. Oh, that reminds me of the haters on the vote days from the vote days where we kind of, sort of got our training from in some ways. Voting Reddit in the early days when they were extremely spiteful and hateful, putting their shall we say, Mossad AI into play. So, what are the odds that Melissa Joan Hart had a first grader at Sandy Hook and in this shooting happened to be driving by with her husband and saw children from this Covenant school in Nashville where she now lives running from the woods? Now, there's no way this isn't sad no matter how you cut it. You have people from both camps, of course. Those that would say, "How dare you even question anything about the narrative? What a vile, wicked person you are that you don't just take it at face value." I'm laughing because Chloe, my cat that was in the hibiscus that's blooming, she is when I did that with my voice, her eyes got real big. She's quite the character. She's very intuitive. Let's put it that way. She's like a angel cat, a guardian angel cat. She's adorable. Okay. Anyhow, then there's the other camp, that is questioning. And honestly, everyone should always question everything. I don't care who or where it's coming from, unless it's coming from within, where people need to go and connect directly with source. Unless it's coming from within. If it's coming from all this stuff out here, you better be questioning. And critical thinking is very important, isn't it? Now, I did feel bad when I heard, of course, there's no way not to feel bad because even if there is some sort of a, shall we say, con being ran, if there's a master of puppets, puppets of master, however you want to look at it, or yeah, puppet master, master of puppets or puppet master is what I'm trying to say. Looks like I need coffee, right? Anyhow, you always feel bad for the children involved, right? So, going to pause and take this upstairs.